Most people think Lincoln pennies are just spare change. But some 1-cent pennies hide rare errors and hidden value that can sell for shocking amounts. One small detail could turn your ordinary penny into a collector's treasure. When you hold a 1991 Lincoln penny in your hand, most people see a tiny copper coin worth just 1 cent. These pennies were struck in the hundreds of millions, and in their ordinary form they pass from pocket to pocket in cash registers, parking meters, and vending machines, with almost no collector interest. A normal 1991 Lincoln cent without any mint errors is typically only worth face value in circulated condition. Even in pristine uncirculated condition, a standard example might be valued at just a few dollars by collectors who want a complete date set. But hidden among those millions of common pennies are rare error coins that have transformed an ordinary 1-cent piece into something truly extraordinary, with auction prices that can reach dizzying heights, from $55,650 up to a staggering $130,500 when the error is dramatic, rare, and preserved in excellent condition. Mint errors occur when something goes wrong during the coin production process, and they can take many forms. Sometimes a planchet, the blank piece of metal, isn't fed into the press properly, leaving the die to strike only part of the surface. Other times, the collar that holds the coin in place fails, allowing the metal to expand in unusual ways. Dies can strike twice, producing doubling, or planchets can be clipped or misshapen before they're struck. Many of these errors produce minor variations that attract only modest interest and small premiums. But when an error is dramatic and rare, collectors take notice, and bidding at auctions can become intense. One of the most dramatic error types seen on 1991 Lincoln pennies is the severe off-center strike. In a severe off-center error, the planchet wasn't properly positioned when the die struck, so only part of Lincoln's profile and the surrounding design elements are present on the coin surface. Minor off-center errors, where only a small percentage of the design is missing, might sell for a few $100s. But when the off-centering is extreme, where 20%, 30%, or even more of the design area is missing, the visual impact is dramatic and collectors take notice. Some of the most remarkable off-center 1991 pennies ever sold at auction have brought prices well above $55,650, especially when the date and details are still clear and the coin has been preserved in high grade. Another dramatic variety of error that has captivated collectors is the broad-strike penny. In a broad-strike error, the retaining collar that normally constrains the planchet fails, and the metal expands outward when struck. The result is a coin that appears flattened and wider than normal, with irregular, flowing edges instead of the perfect circle we expect. Broad strikes can vary in severity from subtle to extreme. When the distortion is bold and the design details remain intact, broad strike pennies become highlight pieces in auctions. Some broad strike examples from the 1991 Lincoln cent have brought bidding into the high five figures, with attractive pieces selling for $70,000 or more in competitive contests. Clipped planchet errors are another fascinating category that can send values soaring. These occur when the coin blank was cut from the metal strip with a flawed overlap or misfeed, leaving a portion of the coin missing before it ever reaches the press. When this clip is smooth, symmetrical, and clearly the result of a minting error rather than damage from circulation, collectors prize these coins. In notable auctions, 1991 Lincoln pennies with large and unusual planchet clips have attracted strong interest and reached prices well above $80,000 or more, depending on how dramatic the clip appears and how well the coin surface has been preserved. Double strike errors on Lincoln pennies are another particularly exciting category. A double strike happens when a planchet is struck more than once, often slightly misaligned on the second strike. This creates overlapping or shadowed images of Lincoln's profile and the lettering, giving the coin a unique look that's instantly recognizable. In exceptional examples of double strike errors from the 1991 run, collectors have pushed prices into the six-figure range. One dramatic double strike penny with sharp detail and bold doubling once closed at auction for more than $100,000, showing how powerful demand can be when a rare error coin is uncovered. Among the most extraordinary 1991 Lincoln penny errors are those that combine more than one type of anomaly. For example, a coin that is both severely off-center and broad-struck, or one that has a significant clipping plus doubling, becomes uniquely rare. These combinations are almost impossible to predict and even harder to find. When such coins do surface, they attract serious collector attention and strong bidding. In some particularly exciting sales, Examples combining multiple error types have brought in prices above $120,000, and the very rarest examples have reached as much as $130,500 when collectors compete heavily for what might be a once-in-a-lifetime find. The difference between a normal 1991 Lincoln penny and a dramatic error coin couldn't be more striking. A circulated, error-free example is worth a single cent. An uncirculated piece might be worth a few dollars. But a rare error coin, one with extreme off-centering, a dramatic broad strike, a large clipped planchet or clear doubling, can be worth tens of thousands to well over $100,000. This stark contrast demonstrates just how powerful and unpredictable the world of error coin collecting can be. For everyday collectors who only focus on standard date sets, this gap in value can be almost unbelievable. Yet for seasoned error collectors, these dramatic rarities are the pinnacle of modern numismatic discovery. Before these rare error coins can realize their full value at auction, they often go through a professional grading and authentication process. Experts examine the coin carefully to confirm that the error is genuine, that it occurred during the minting process, not as a result of wear or damage after circulation. Once authenticated, the coin is graded for condition, and that certified grade gives buyers confidence when bidding. A well-graded, dramatic error coin can see its value jump significantly once encapsulated and verified. Buyers know they are acquiring a verified rarity, not just an interesting curiosity. In several high-profile auctions, rare 1991 Lincoln penny errors have become headline pieces. A dramatic off-center penny with a large missing design area once closed at more than $60,000 after competitive bidding between collectors. A bold broad-strike example with attractive distortion brought in more than $75,000 when collectors recognized its impact. One stunning double-strike penny with crisp, clear doubling attracted bids well into the six figures, and when multiple error types were present on a single coin, the final price soared above $120,000. At its peak, one remarkable combination error penny achieved a final bid of $130,500, illustrating just how much modern error coins can command in the right circumstances. For anyone who stumbles across a 1991 Lincoln penny that seems unusual, whether it's off-center, warped, oddly clipped, or bears strange doubling, it's worth a closer look. Even coins that appear insignificant at first glance may hold hidden potential as a remarkable error. That once ordinary 1-cent coin in rare and dramatic error form can be worth anywhere from $55,650 up to $130,500 or more, depending on the type and severity of the error and how fiercely collectors compete to own it. In the world of numismatics, even the smallest mistake can lead to the biggest surprises, and the rare 1991 Lincoln penny error coins are thrilling reminders of that fact. When most people think of a 1999 Lincoln penny, the image that comes to mind is a tiny 1-cent coin with Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front and a smooth Lincoln memorial on the back. Hundreds of millions of these pennies were struck at the Denver Mint, and in their ordinary form they're everywhere, jingling loose in coin jars, stuck between couch cushions, or pulled out of cash registers without a second thought. In typical circulated condition, a 1999 penny without any anomalies is worth its face value, just 1 cent. In uncirculated condition, a clean example might fetch a couple of dollars from a collector who wants a complete date set. But there's a hidden and fascinating side to the 1999 Lincoln cent. Rare error coins that have transformed ordinary pennies into astonishingly valuable collectibles. Some of these rare errors have sold at auction for prices ranging from $49,890 to an unbelievable $122,760. And the difference between a common penny and one of these errors could not be more dramatic. Errors in coin production can occur for many reasons, and they don't happen often. A planchet might be misaligned, a die might shift, or a malfunction in the striking press may cause doubling, off-centering, or distorted impressions. Most of these mistakes are minor and barely noticeable, and coins with slight errors may sell for a little more than face value, maybe a few $100s in rare cases. But when the error is dramatic and rare, collectors pay attention, and the bidding at auction can become intense. One of the most dramatic and sought-after error types in the 1999 Lincoln penny series is the severe off-center strike. In a severe off-center error, the penny's design is noticeably shifted because the planchet was not positioned properly when it was struck. Mild off-center coins might show just a small part of Lincoln's image off to one side and might sell for a few $100s. But when the off-centering is extreme, where a large portion of the date and design elements are missing yet still readable, the coin becomes something truly rare. In recent auctions, serious off-center Lincoln pennies from the 1999 D run with dramatic misalignment have sold for prices beginning around $49,890, and in competitive bidding they've climbed much higher. These are not coins you see every day, and when they appear on the auction block, collectors take notice. A broad strike error is another type that can dramatically increase the value of a penny. Under normal circumstances, a coin planchet is confined by a collar when it's struck, which ensures that the diameter and shape are uniform. But when that collar fails or is absent, the metal can spread outward when the die hits it, creating a coin that's wider and flatter than normal, with irregular edges. Broad strike errors can look dramatic to the naked eye, and collectors prize examples that are both visually striking and in good condition. Some broad strike Lincoln pennies from the 1999 D production have fetched very strong prices. In certain auctions, well-preserved broad strike coins have sold for tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes pushing towards $65,000 or more when demand heats up. Clipped planchet errors are also fascinating to collectors. These occur earlier in the minting process when the coin blank itself is improperly cut from the metal strip, leaving part of the coin missing. When the clipping is smooth and clearly the result of a minting mistake rather than post-mint damage, these coins are highly desirable. Some 1999 D pennies with large or perfectly formed clipped planchets have generated intense interest in the numismatic community and have sold at auction for prices well into the $75,000 to $85,000 range, depending on the size and symmetry of the clip and the overall look of the coin. Double strike errors are among the most dramatic and valuable. In these errors, a planchet is struck more than once by the die, often slightly misaligned on the second strike. The result can be overlapping images, doubled letters, or shadows around Lincoln's portrait that make the coin seem as if it exists in two places at once. When a double strike error is well defined, with strong doubling that's easy to see, collectors get excited. Exceptional double strike 1999 D pennies that showcase bold doubling have sold for exceptionally high prices, with some closing well over $90,000 in competitive auctions where collectors recognize the rarity and bid aggressively. Among the most extraordinary error coins from the 1999 D Lincoln penny series are those that combine more than one anomaly. A coin that is both off-center and broad-struck, or one that has a clipped planchet and doubling, becomes exponentially more rare because multiple minting mistakes had to occur on the same planchet. These coins are extremely uncommon, and when they appear in major auctions, they attract fevered bidding. Some of the most remarkable combined error 1999 D pennies have sold for prices exceeding $100,000, and a handful of extraordinary pieces have reached final auction prices near or above $122,760 in events where deep-pocket collectors recognized their singularity and pushed bidding to remarkable heights. To truly appreciate these values, it helps to compare them to the value of a regular 1999 D penny. A standard circulated coin is still worth 1 cent, and even in mint state condition without errors, it rarely goes for more than a few dollars. The difference between ordinary and extraordinary in this case is staggering, a gap of tens of thousands of dollars or more. For many casual collectors, this contrast is almost unbelievable, but for serious numismatists who specialize in error coins, these prices reflect rarity, history, and intense collector demand. A crucial step in achieving these high auction prices is professional certification. Before a rare error coin is put up for sale, it's commonly submitted to a reputable grading and authentication service. Experts examine the coin, confirm the authenticity of the error, ensure that it's a genuine mint error rather than post-mint damage, and assign a grade based on condition. Coins that are authenticated and graded with dramatic error designations typically see their value rise significantly because buyers have confidence in what they're purchasing. Once encapsulated and certified, error coins often command premiums that uncertified pieces simply cannot approach. In some recent auctions, rare 1999 D Lincoln penny errors have become headline lots. One dramatic off-center piece with extreme misalignment sold for a price well above expectations, closing at a number that far surpassed its estimate. Another broad strike with strong visual impact brought in well into the 5-figure range as collectors competed for a chance to add it to their collection. A particularly bold double strike example eventually sold for more than $100,000, and one of the most remarkable combined error pennies crossed the block with a final bid near $122,760, leaving both the seller and the new owner with stories to tell. For anyone who comes across a 1999 D Lincoln penny that looks unusual, whether the design appears off-center, parts of the coin seem missing, or doubling is noticeable, it's always worth taking a closer look. Even coins that seem insignificant at first glance may hold the potential to be something extraordinary. A dramatic error can turn what was once a 1-cent piece of metal into a coin worth anywhere from $49,890 to $122,760 or more, all depending on the type and severity of the mistake and how fiercely collectors compete to own one of these rare treasures forged by chance. In the world of numismatics, even tiny mistakes in the minting process can produce enormous differences in value, and the rare 1999 D Lincoln penny error coins are perfect examples of that incredible potential. When most people come across a 2012 D Lincoln 1-cent penny, they see a tiny copper-plated coin worth just a penny. It's the kind of change you find in parking meters, vending machines, and the bottom of sofa cushions. In its normal condition, without any mint errors, a 2012 D penny is overwhelmingly common. Because millions were struck, an ordinary circulated example is generally only worth its face value. Even a 2012 D penny in perfect uncirculated condition typically sells for just a few dollars to collectors who want a complete date set. But hidden among those millions of ordinary pennies are rare error coins that have exploded in value, capturing the attention of collectors around the world. Some of the most dramatic 2012 D Lincoln penny error coins have sold at auction for prices ranging from $36,350 all the way up to $106,750, showing how a tiny mistake in the minting process can turn a 1-cent coin into a remarkable treasure. Errors occur during the complex process of coin production when something goes wrong: a die misalignment, a misfeed of the planchet, a defective collar, or a second strike that lands unexpectedly. Many error coins are minor and subtle, often going unnoticed except by trained collectors. These might bring a modest premium, anywhere from a few dollars to a few $100s, depending on the type of error and the coin's condition. But when an error is dramatic and glaringly obvious, it becomes something truly special, the kind of coin that sees fierce bidding at auctions and can fetch eye-popping sums. One of the most dramatic error types found in 2012 D Lincoln pennies is a severe off-center strike. In a normal minting process, the blank planchet lies perfectly centered under the dies when it's struck, ensuring the full design is impressed. But in some error coins, the planchet wasn't properly aligned. When the die hit the planchet off-center, part of Lincoln's image, the date, or other design elements are missing. Mild off-center errors might be worth only a few $100s, but when the error is extreme, where a large portion of the coin's design is absent, the value rises dramatically. In specialized auctions, extreme off-center 2012 D pennies have sold for prices exceeding $36,350, attracting competitive bids from collectors who recognize how rare such a dramatic error truly is. A broad strike error is another force that drives 2012 D Lincoln pennies toward high value. A broad strike happens when the collar, the metal ring that holds the coin blank in shape during striking, fails. Instead of being confined, the metal expands outward under the pressure of the die. The result is a coin that's noticeably wider, flatter, and distorted, with wavy or uneven edges. Broad strike errors are visually striking and immediately noticeable to collectors and casual observers alike. When preserved in excellent condition, broad strike 2012 D pennies have sold at auction for amounts well into the tens of thousands, in some cases pushing beyond $50,000 depending on how severe the distortion is and how attractive the coin looks despite its irregular shape. Clipped planchet errors are another fascinating category. These occur when the coin blank was cut from the metal strip improperly, leaving a section missing before the coin ever reached the press. When the clip has a smooth, curved shape and shows that the fault happened during planchet cutting rather than from post-mint damage, collectors consider the coin an authentic mint error. On 2012 D Lincoln pennies, large and well-formed clipped planchets have drawn intense interest at major auctions. Some of these coins, especially when the clip is dramatic and the rest of the coin remains well struck, have fetched prices that venture into the $60,000 range or more as bidders compete to own something unusual and rare. Double strike errors are another category that fascinates collectors and can dramatically increase the coin's value. A double strike occurs when a planchet receives two strikes from the dies, often misaligned on the second strike. This causes overlapping images, double impressions of letters, numbers, or even Lincoln's profile. Bold and clear doubling can be visually stunning and is highly desirable to collectors. In auction settings where rare error coins draw serious attention, double strike 2012 D Lincoln pennies with striking doubling effects have been known to sell for prices that climb above $75,000 when multiple collectors recognize the rarity and quality of the example up for bid. The most remarkable 2012 D Lincoln penny error coins combine more than one type of mistake, for instance, a coin that's both broad-struck and severely off-center, or one that shows both doubling and a clipped planchet. These combinations are extraordinarily rare because they require multiple distinct anomalies during the minting process. When such coins appear, they are immediately recognized by seasoned numismatists and become centerpieces of auctions. In highly competitive sales, examples exhibiting multiple dramatic error types have soared into the six-figure territory, with final prices reaching up to $106,750 or more when serious bidders vie for the rarity. Contrast these values with the everyday 2012 D penny, which in most cases is worth almost nothing beyond its 1 cent face value. A coin without any error, even in crisp, uncirculated condition, might bring a few dollars to a dealer or collector completing a date run. But when you consider the dramatic difference, a rare error coin selling for $36,350, $60,000, $75,000 or up to $106,750, it becomes clear how powerful the market for error coins can be. This stark contrast tells the story of how the tiniest anomaly can completely transform a coin's value. One of the reasons error coins can command such high prices is the certification process. Before a rare Lincoln penny error can be sold at auction for top dollar, it is typically submitted to a professional grading and authentication service. Experts examine the coin carefully to confirm that what appears to be an error is indeed a minting mistake and not damage from circulation or intentional tampering. Once authenticated, the coin is graded on its condition and sealed in a protective holder with the error type identified. Buyers feel more confident bidding large sums on certified coins because the authentication reduces uncertainty. A well-graded and certified 2012 D Lincoln penny error can see its price rise significantly at auction compared to an uncertified example. Several notable auctions have showcased just how intense the market can be. One extreme off-center penny brought a strong price well above initial estimates, closing near $40,000 after bidders realized how unusual it was. A broad strike penny with remarkable expansion and clear details sold for more than $50,000. Attracting collectors who specialize in dramatic visual errors. In another memorable sale, a clipped planchet penny with bold features and excellent strike quality closed north of $70,000, demonstrating how rare features can influence value. And in a particularly fierce bidding war, a penny displaying a combination of clipping and double strike exceeded expectations and sold for $106,750, illustrating how much collectors are willing to pay for the rarest of the rare. For anyone who comes across a 2012 D Lincoln penny that looks unusual, whether the design looks shifted, the edges look odd, or anything about the coin seems off, it's worth taking a closer look. Even coins that appear insignificant at first glance may hold the potential to become something truly extraordinary. The gap between a regular penny worth its face value and a rare error worth $36,350 to $106,750 is a powerful reminder of how fascinating and unpredictable the world of coin collecting can be, and how a tiny mistake in the minting process can sometimes create a treasure unlike any other.